Not only does it cross the generational divide, not only does it cross the city and bush divide, but it certainly also crosses the political divide. So, would you please join with me in welcoming the member for Burnett, Rob Messenger. Thanks, Damien. Thank you for coming along today. This is a very important rally. Ladies and gentlemen, I think there's a little bit of confusion about exactly what a carbon tax is. When you go around and you talk to some of the older people, some of the younger people, and they go, what the heck is a carbon tax? I like to explain it like this, when there's any confusion whatsoever. A carbon tax is this. Carbon tax is the Prime Minister and all her mates in Canberra and all the bureaucrats hanging on saying, we want you to pay more money to us and we're going to stop the world's climate from changing. That's a carbon tax. Does anyone believe it? It's absolutely ridiculous. And for the last 3 years, I've been fighting against the carbon tax in that place there.
Good on you, mate.
I was the Shadow Minister for small business, and I said, if you want small businesses in Queensland, bring in a carbon tax and all the big businesses will suddenly become small businesses. That's how we'll get more small businesses. It is absolutely ridiculous. On page 74 of The Economist in February this year, there's a bloke called Bob Heinzing. Now Bob is the director of the Carnegie Institute into the Deep Carbon Observatory project. Now Bob said that carbon was the most abundant element in the universe, behind helium, hydrogen and oxygen. Now I want to know when Julia Gillard's going to start taxing helium, hydrogen and oxygen as well.
Give her time! Give her time, she will!
The fact that they're trying to tell you that by paying more money in taxes to her is going to stop the world's climate from changing. Well, the only other time I can think in the history of mankind when anyone got away with something as a bigger lie as that was in South America, where the Incan priests said to their followers, look, all we have to do is throw one more virgin into the volcano and we'll keep the sun coming up.
That's right.
And that is the logic that they're using on us right now. I'm sorry with the other speaker, I disagree with you. This is not, the science doesn't stack up. I've read Flannery's book, I've read Al Gore's book, and I can use passages from that book to disprove this man-made climate-induced baloney. Does anyone know what... I asked the climate change minister 3 weeks ago in that place, I said, what's the average world temperature? She had no idea. You would think that everyone, that gentleman over there, what's the average world temperature? 14 degrees. 14 degrees, correct. Guess what the climate change minister said? 24 degrees? Now Tim Flannery says it's 14 degrees, so I looked up Al Gore's book when it was last 14 degrees. Do you know what? It was last 14 degrees 110,000 years ago, and then about 250,000 years ago, and then about 350,000 years ago. And 110,000 years ago, when it was 14 degrees, you know what happened? It rose. It went from 14 degrees to 19 degrees, and then back down to 14 degrees, bumped around for a while, and then at the rise of civilizations 20,000 years ago, it rose to 14 degrees again. How did it go from 14 degrees to 19 degrees 110,000 years ago with man-made carbon?
Because it just happens.
Unless those cavemen had a few power plants that we didn't know about. I mean, it's so simple to disprove the science. It's just ridiculous.
The mammoths did it.
What's going on here? It is. It's criminal. And I'll tell you what, it's traitorous.
That's right.
Which leads me on to the last thing.
You should take him to trial, mate. It's criminal.
I'll finish with this.
Sorry.
The traitor. The big traitor in all this is Rob Oakeshott.
Oh yeah! Turncoat!
And I'm going to represent the people who put me there, the people of the Burnett. I've got farmers who've got greenhouses. Guess what happens in those greenhouses? They raised the level of carbon from 375 parts per million to about 1,200 parts per million. Guess what happens to the things that are growing in their greenhouses?
They grow better.
They grow more. It's a fertiliser.
Yeah.
So I say this to Sir Rob Oakeshott and Tony Windsor. You're traitors to the independent cause. You're giving independence a bad name.
Yeah.
Join the Greens.
Yeah.
The other loonies.
Yeah. Damn right. Well said, Mike.